So you dig the cool rootsy sound of somebody playing slide guitar. There's almost nothing bluesier that you can do on a guitar, but it's not without its challenges. And today we're going to talk about 3 mistakes that you should watch out for when you're getting your slide chops up. Hey guys, John Hatcher here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues, where we take cool acoustic blues and we break it down into simple, straightforward lessons to get you playing blues as quick as possible. And today we're going to talk about 3 mistakes to watch out for when you're getting started with slides. So let's dive right into the first mistake. So the first mistake is very common, is not playing directly over the fret. This is all about getting the proper note to sound when you're playing slide guitar. You see, with slide guitar, you've got this sort of infinite range of playing of notes that are available to you. That's some of the magic in the slide, but we've got to learn to control that. And when you're playing fretted, and I came to slide guitar after playing fretted, just regular guitar for years and years and years. So I had this sort of just trained, learned behavior in me to play directly behind the fret. That's what you do when you put your finger down to play a note. So like this C note here, my finger is placed directly behind the fret. If you do that with a slide, you're not going to reach a full C note. You're going to be slightly flat. And there's nothing worse than just playing through and playing every single note flat. Everyone will notice it, whether they're into music or not, whether they know about guitar or not. That is a mistake that you cannot get away from. So what do we do about it? What do we do to get that mistake out of our playing? Well, a couple things. First is to be aware of it. And so hopefully this video will help you out with that, because I got to tell you, it took me a long time before I was properly aware of this problem in my own playing. But what you can do to really target and sort of get yourself used to playing the right note, first thing is you got to know where it is. So what I would encourage you to do is pick a note on the fretboard, like say this C note, 3rd string. So we've got that ringing nice and true. Make sure you're in tune first. Your guitar strings are tuned up. It's going to be impossible to do this if you really aren't in tune already. All right, so we're playing that. Then play it, so fretted, and then play it with the slide. Let your ear tell you if those 2 pitches are the same. And you want to go right for the note, but it's easy to drift here. And listen to what happens when I do. Here I went flat there, and I didn't move all that much. And you can easily push it too, a little sharp. So another trick that I recommend is get yourself one of these tuners. Any tuner will really work, but I like these clip-on tuners just because they're right there and very easy to see as you're playing. And do that same exercise. Make sure that you get a good, in this case, C note to register on the tuner. If you've got a chromatic tuner, this will work any note on the fretboard. The note doesn't really matter here. The fact is that you want to get the same note when you play it fretted. I'm getting a good C note on my tuner. And check yourself with the slide. That one's right in tune. Spend some time just getting used to this. And you can see that's off a little bit. And you can hear it. Not the most exciting of things that you can do with slide guitar, but I'm telling you, if you really pay attention to this minute little detail in your playing, it's going to help. You gotta get this stuff down, and building these tiny little habits like good intonation, playing in tune, that will come in super handy. So let's move on to the second mistake that you can make. The second mistake that you want to watch out for is not dampening the strings. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of string noise inherent in sliding this thing up and down the fretboard, and you want to be able to rein that in and control it. There are certainly moments where you want to get loud and big and noisy, and you can definitely hear a place for that but you want to make sure that you can control it. I think about it as kind of like that old adage, being able to think outside the box. Well, to me, it doesn't do much good to know how to think outside the box if you don't know how to think inside the box first. It's like knowing the rules so that you know when to break them. So what we can do on the guitar to get some good dampening going is two things. First thing is if you wear your slide on any finger other than your first finger, which is uncommon, but I guess it's out there, you'll have a finger behind the slide. And use those fingers to lightly lay over, finger or fingers, lightly lay over the strings. And what that does, that helps cut out string noise from sounding behind the slide in this area. And that'll produce a note that maybe you don't want. Here's the note from this part of the string to this one. Here's the note here. That may very well clash with what you're trying to do. So again, laying these two fingers down lightly across the strings behind the slide, just kind of dragging them wherever the slide goes, will really help. The other thing that you can do is with your picking hand. Lay your hand across the strings and just cut out the physical possibility of these strings vibrating by pressing down on the strings with your pick hand. Now, that means that you're going to have to pick up anytime you want to play a note, but keep it locked down when you're not playing. So that will cut down on the strings that you're not playing, getting bumped by the slide and producing a note that might clash. All right, so the third mistake to look out for is not playing with the right amount of pressure. So what I mean is like the pressure up and down when you approach the string. So like maybe in and out is a better way to think of that. So you can play too lightly and you're going to get a lot of string buzz. You can play too heavily and push down on the fretboard and you're going to hear those frets slide. You're not fretting here. And this might take you a little bit if you're like me, coming to the slide guitar after a lot of years playing fretted. That actually takes a lot of pressure to clamp that string down and produce a nice little note. And it might not seem like it now if you've been playing for a while and fretting a note is pretty easy to you, but think back to when you were a beginner. Doing this just plain hurt, man. So like that should tell you the pressure that you're really exerting on the fretboard here. You can't do that with a slide. You're going to get something like this. What you want to do is a little more light, but not too light. You need that note fundamental to really be loud and proud. And it's somewhere in between those two extremes that's going to get you there. Now, I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Did you struggle with one of these three? I personally struggled with all of them when I was coming up and really getting started in slide playing. But I want to know if you did, and maybe you struggled with something else. So let me know in the comments section of this video. And if it's your first time here, then I really appreciate it if you would subscribe, and you'll get some cool blues lessons every single Tuesday here. So thank you for letting me play at least a very small part in your guitar journey just by watching this video. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you back here next Tuesday. Play on.